Hey guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review. And yeah, after doing too many beers yesterday, well, not too many, I only did two. I'm back on, yeah, trying to link beers together. And that's what brings me on to this review, which is part of the Beer 52 Awards. So this technically is an award-winning beer. And yeah, it is by these guys here, not the chips, these guys, Siren Craft Brew, and they've won an award for the best, the best session IPA. And as you know, dear listener, if you have followed me for any length of time, session IPA is ridiculous. It's not a real thing. It is just absolutely ridiculous. It's it's a double negative. It's crazy. An IPA, by definition, is a stronger beer. So it's like saying it's a strong light beer. What the hell? Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, this is slightly bittersweet because I really like Siren. And this oops, up here, this is the beer. Whoops. Anytime, any place, anywhere. Session IPA at 4.2%. Session IPA is good for any occasion, using some of the all-time great hops, Citrus, Simcoe, and Amarillo. Gives us plenty of pine, fruit flavors, zesty orange, everything brought together, a soft mouthfeel, etc., etc., etc. And it is a very hoppy beer, apparently. So it's like, I would say it's a hoppy pale ale. That's all you need to say. Session IPA, double negative. Get it right, people. I know you're trying to sell beer, and that is exactly why. If you can get IPA in the name, it's going to sell more. Yeah, but it's wrong. It is definitely wrong. And giving an award for something that's wrong just blows my mind. That being said, Siren as a brewery are fantastic. They do some really nice stuff. And if you look back at my intro, that second photo there was me at the GBBF, and the Vocation and Siren breweries, or bars, I should say, brewery bars, were right next to each other. Two of the best, in my opinion, breweries of definitely craft beer, if not, old school camera proper, but craft beer, very good. And they did some fantastic. Beer of the year is probably going to be Siren versus Vocation in my book, unless something amazing comes to mind. Don't know. Hey, if you've got this far into the video, why not click like, click subscribe down below, and then you won't miss tomorrow's edition, which is also a Siren beer, and it's also a session IPA. I do these things for you, dear viewer. I really do. So there we go. Anytime, any place, anywhere. Session IPA. I quite like the can. The design kind of matches my kind of shirt today, which is a bit bizarre. And then the gumph, I think, is probably exactly the same as it was in the book. Yes, indeed it is. Let's see what we've got. Ingredients list. So we've got water, barley, oats, wheat, hops, and yeast. 4.2% on the ABV. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this as a pale ale, a hoppy pale ale. I like the way they call everything an IPA just because it's got some American hops in it. And not being funny, but I think it was probably people over here that invented IPA. Not in the way that this beer is, but the original IPAs were made to to go on the boat over to India for the East India Company when Britain actually ruled the waves. Oh, wow. Is it even worth me putting my nail on? It is a fingernail's worth of head, and it is a hazy beer. But I like the colour, pretty good. Are there any kind of floaty bits and bobs in there? Not really. Maybe there's a wee thing stuck on the side of the glass there. Was that there to start with? I don't know. Wow, this has some incredible kind of grapefruit type notes on there. Maybe even a bit of stone fruit in there. Maybe a touch of orange too. Not 100% sure, but it's kind of that way. Let's see what we get from this beer. Siren. I like Siren. Oh, yeah, very hoppy up front. I thought it was going to be more kind of juicy, but it isn't. It kind of is in the mouth and then going down after the first swallow, but it soon just disappears into nothing, and it's quite dry finish. Little bit of residual sweetness there too. The flavors we are getting a generic kind of hoppiness, which is kind of that hedgerowy type thing, but there is a bit of fruit there, a bit of pineapple, like I say, kind of maybe grapefruit, maybe stone kind of fruit tropicalness, but it's very quick, and the finish is very smooth, which is probably due to the oats and the malt, the wheat. We do have some tide line there too. See if we get another one. Second sip. Ooh. Yeah, that zestiness, the kind of more grapefruity type thing is definitely all about the initial mouthfeel right there at the beginning. As you swallow, then it descends into a bit more kind of generic hops, and then the fruity kind of tastes are there in the background, but because of the wheat and the oats in there, it has got quite a smooth initial mouthfeel, and then the fruits come through lingering in the long but really mellow finish. Like I say, residual sweetness there too. It's not very alcoholic at 4.2%, and this is a very small can, only a 330, and hopefully it will focus on there. No, there we go. Siren. That is properly smart. I like that can. Really, really nice. Done. My first tide line has totally disappeared. Second, third, and boom, finished. Not much head, so not much residual foam, shall we say, to follow me down the glass. But yeah, that was a nice, refreshing. I mean, this Session IPA moniker, is it an IPA just because it's got a lot of hops in it? Is that why they're calling it an IPA over just a pale ale? I guess that's what people think, and that's why they're calling it, oh, pardon me, quite carbonated. Wow, really carbonated. But yeah, is it the level of bitterness, the level of hops, as opposed to the alcohol? Because the IPA style was originally there for sending off for months at a time on boats, you know, to get round the known world. But is it because it was slightly higher alcohol, or is it was because it had more hops in it, which acts as a kind of kind of bacterial antiseptic, I guess, in a way, to make it last longer? Um, or is it a combination of the two? I know for a fact that IPAs traditionally were stronger and more heavily hopped. So this Session IPA, are they saying that it's a weak beer, but it still has the same level of hops that a normal IPA would do? And we're talking American IPA. None of these are traditional IPAs in the 100-year-old or even longer than that standard. So it's just people making up complete bullshit. I personally think this is a hoppy pale ale. But if people want to pay extra money on their pint to have the IPA moniker in, I mean, it is basically, you can say whatever you like. Oh, well, argue this, argue that. They're using IPA in the title purely to sell more beer. That's exactly what it is. And because they're not using so much malt, because it's less alcoholic, they're saving a little bit of money, unless if they were going to call it a normal IPA. Probably more expensive than a normal pale ale because they're putting extra hops in. I still don't like it. It's just adding an extra. I mean, what next? There's going to be a Session Imperial IPA, a Session Imperial Pastry IPA. I mean, what the hell? It will never end. You must draw the line in the sand somewhere. Anyway, this has been Unclejona ranting, and I don't want you to listen to it. But I'm going to be back tomorrow with another version, I guess, of a Session IPA from Siren. We'll see what we get and we'll compare it to today's. Till then, guys, take care. Remember to drink some beer.